With me now, Wisconsin Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin. She has been very outspoken about the potential changes to Medicaid that the Republican bill may bring. So, Senator Baldwin, welcome.
Thank you for having me on.
You know, we just heard from Sean Spicer address a number of issues in the press briefing, including this very important issue, being health care and addressing Democrats head on. Let me play this, and I want you to respond.
Okay.
You were around when Republicans were criticizing Democrats back in the day of Obamacare for it being, as you put it fairly recently, jammed down people's throats. You said it was rushed, it was secretive, that was the criticism. So how is what's happening now with this bill getting crafted, frankly, behind closed doors, any different from what Republicans criticized Democrats for doing?
I think we wanted to be part of the process back then. If you look at what you look at what Senator Schumer said both in February to a MoveOn.org, where he said that no Democrats going to go near this, and what he said in a letter in May 9th, that he said that no Democrats would be part of an effort that would repeal Obamacare. So they have chosen to take themselves not make themselves part of this process. There is, when Senator McConnell brings the bill forward, I'm sure that there'll be plenty of time to have debate. It's the Senate. There's always plenty of time to debate.
He's talking about voting next week.
Well, okay, but again, I'm not going to get ahead of. I'll let Senator McConnell determine the Senate schedule and run the Senate that he sees fit. But let's not mistake ourselves with how they approach this thing. Their leader, Senator Schumer, made it very clear on at least two separate occasions that they didn't want to be part of this process. They didn't want to repeal and replace Obamacare. They were happy with Obamacare. We believe Obamacare is failing.
Senator Baldwin, how would you respond to Sean Spicer?
Well, certainly his premise is that Democrats don't want to have anything to do with repealing the Affordable Care Act. And it's because what they're doing is a bunch of partisan nonsense to notch up a political and partisan victory. If they wanted to work on strengthening our health care system so that the people I represent in Wisconsin and people all over America could have a stronger system to rely on, if we wanted to work together to bring down pharmaceutical prices, premium prices, have more competition, these are things that we are so excited to work on. But what they're doing right now, and what we can base this on, is the House-passed version of the repeal bill is creating a lot of harm to people across America, people with pre-existing conditions, people who are older Americans who will see significant increases in their premium costs in the form of an age tax, and jeopardy to rural clinics and hospitals, and access to care in rural areas, and the list goes on and on.
No, I understand, Senator, and I understand, basing that upon the House version, and we have to wait. We're hearing from the likes of Senator Corkers and others confirming that there will be some sort of text of this version of the bill by the end of this week. So add that, I guess, to your list of frustrations, because I also understand Democrats, you're angry about how this has been crafted in secrecy. But let me point out, this is sound from Mike Pence back in 2009 of the Obamacare era, blasting for Democrats for doing the very same thing. Roll it.
This is just another version now lurching out of the back rooms after weeks of closed-door negotiations. I think it's troubling to millions of Americans that after committees did their work this summer in the House and Senate, this thing went behind closed doors over the last month and a half, and we really don't know what's going to be unveiled on the west front of the Capitol tomorrow. And to be doing this on a bill that not only will affect, I think, 1/6 of the economy, but 100% of the American people for generations to come is really unconscionable.
Just to be fair to Republicans, isn't there hypocrisy really on both sides here?
I don't believe so, especially given the process that was in both houses of Congress. Dozens and dozens of hearings. We brought in experts. We heard from industry experts. We heard from families affected. Right now,
and yes,
the
that was
problem
the case,
is that
Senator.
the people
Forgive me, but that wasn't.
this bill,
but that wasn't the case early on. Yes to the hearings and debates and the amendments. But early on, during the process of the crafting of the bill, was it not secretive, as Republicans are saying?
Well, somebody drafts a bill and they bring it out, and then it's brought into public view. There's hearings, you get expert input. you get a chance to amend it. There were over 300 amendments offered. I understand, I wasn't in the Senate then, I was in the House of Representatives, but I understand in the Senate that there were well over 100 Republican amendments incorporated into the measure. So there couldn't be a sort of starker difference between the process back then and the process right now.
Sure.
That's why we're taking to the floor, as I did last night, to say that the American people who, you know, health care is personal. The American people have a right to know what is in this bill. I hope you're right, these rumors are true, and we'll get a chance to see the bill this weekend, but there's no rush. Let's have hearings, let's get expert input. That's not what we hear is going to happen. We hear it's going to be rammed through next week.
You know, you and other Senate Democrats did precisely that. You know, took to the floor last night for hours. You know, your options at this point seem limited. Do you, Senator Baldwin, do you feel like your leadership waited too long to go on the offensive for this bill?
You know, absolutely not. We have been speaking out even when the House was considering their version of it, and certainly listening to our constituents who have been writing, calling, and meeting with us at home about their anxiety, their fear about what this will mean for them. I read letters on the Senate floor last night, or shared stories from constituents all over the state of Wisconsin, many with children with pre-existing conditions, laying awake at night worrying about what this could mean for their family's health and financial security. Health is such a personal issue, and we need to have public engagement, public involvement. Now, I know that we do not control the Senate in terms of partisan control, and we alone cannot stop it. But speaking out, exposing what they're doing, and drawing in the American public to weigh in also is what we really must. This is too important of a fight to give up or to lose.
Senator Tammy Baldwin, thank you so much for taking the time with me. It is so important to talk about health care in this country.